In a thrilling detective chase, they discovered that the gun that killed Katie was the same model used in a robbery years ago. They rushed to find the robbed store for a clue. Even though the robber is still at large, the store owner is adamant the culprit is none other than the former employee, Audrey. Who would have thought this case would circle back to him? Here comes the question. Could it truly be the case that Audrey, who has been missing for many years, has actually returned? Little Black begins to suspect that there is some injustice behind the doctor, while Lisa simply can't stop herself from continuously upgrading her speculations about her husband. After waiting endlessly in the car, the doctor returns home, finding himself watching a vampire movie. What a dark mood. He notices Lisa has been a bit absent-minded lately. She's suspecting him of something with Katie. He feels her distancing from him more and more. To everyone's great surprise, the doctor unexpectedly bursts into hysterical sobs. Lisa can't help but wonder, did I say something wrong? I was just on the verge of mentioning Jenny and George. They took me on a wild 4-day trip, but I ended up being snatched right out of their dying hands. With these creepy death phones stuffed in my sleeping bag, that turned out to be my last night before they snatched me away. For the first time, the doctor shares his childhood nightmare with Lisa. Since that moment, he has parted ways with his former self. He feels the shadow clings to him like a vampire. But how does this relate to that fateful night? He storms off angrily, leaving Lisa stunned. Little Black finds the doctor's new secret, uncovering rare info in his car. He finds 2 types of blood in the car. The trunk looks like a horror show. Shockingly, the blood type matches Katie's exactly. To cover their bases, they drag the doctor to the interrogation room. Little Black might be jumping the gun here. The doctor explains he cut his hand on barbed wire while rushing to serve the blood, and the vehicle is his, and the car was borrowed last night by somebody shady. Could they have been up to no good? This leaves Little Black speechless. Such evidence is weak sauce. Since Katie was killed by a lost weapon, shouldn't the focus be on finding the murder weapon? Little Black reluctantly agrees to release the doctor, while Jim's crew discovers that Brandon is as innocent as a toddler, no motives whatsoever. Clearly, he's closely linked to Katie's death, and Sean begins searching for the murder weapon. They want the truth but are held back. According to Audrey's rap sheet, before he disappeared, he owed a load of cigarettes. Oddly enough, he went completely dark after being caught. Turns out after Audrey was caught, he became a snitch, betraying another dark mastermind, Jimmy, who, with his crew, raided a whopping 60,000 knives. He got sentenced to 2 years but went missing just 2 months. Then no wonder Jimmy had beef with Brandon. The plot thickens. Lisa finally waits for Jimmy to return, much like reuniting with a long-lost relative. She's got to drop the doctor's dark secret on him. Even though Jimmy can't believe it, he needs answers before Sean gets to him, so he sends his goons to find the doctor and invite him to the bar. The doctor is just looking to drown his sorrows in booze, but history has a way of repeating itself. The moment he settles in, the passenger turns and flashes a smile. As the car starts, the rear scene makes him feel plunging into another whirlpool. Sean's brilliance shines through as he takes Brandon in for questioning, where Brandon claims Audrey isn't completely missing. He supposedly sends money home every month, and he heard Katie's gun is linked to Audrey, all while insisting his dad's never been involved in thievery. They know Brandon is lying, but without solid proof, they are stuck in a whirlwind of frustration. As they scramble for clues, they suddenly remember the 911 call coming from what sounded like 2 little boys who stumbled upon a blood-soaked abandoned vehicle. Fast forward, Brandon sneaks back home after telling lies at the station. He feels around the ceiling and finds Audrey's gun, only to discover it's just an empty holster. In the bar, the trio's revelry is in full swing. The doctor learns a ton of secrets, realizing that since Kitty came into the world, he chose to walk the path of righteousness after his However, just as he's starting to comprehend, he realizes he's been swept into a drinking frenzy. With the bottles running dry, he's already inebriated and he vomits by the river. Then Jimmy and crew follow. What a tangled fate. Jimmy spills the beans on his friendship with Audrey. Their relationship was fine until Ray pulled a Judas move to save his skin, landing Jimmy in jail. After getting out of jail, he was enraged enough to take Ray down. Guilt-ridden, he sends Brandon monthly cash as penance. The doctor realizes he might be in hot water, so he hurries to tell Jimmy about that fateful night. After leaving the bar, he saw a man in agony in a car, punched him, let a nearby boy escape, and got hurt. The doctor completely breaks down, releasing all his pent-up childhood pain on this thug until he's knocked out cold. While trying to dispose of the body, the trunk is stained with blood. Every time he remembers his past, he's left in a panic. Jimmy starts to doubt the doctor's story, while Lisa grows more suspicious. Meanwhile, the police can't find the body, and the group cleverly urges Jimmy to make a move. Jimmy thought old Ray's death meant a fresh start, but an old friend's forcing him back. He gives the doctor one last chance to confess or face the music. Meanwhile, Brandon is quietly waiting at home for his brother to return. Only they two know the gun's hiding spot, and the brother's close friend John knows too. Clearly, they took action together. Their brother as a grudge and teamed up with John to take ruthless measures against Katie. Who could have ever anticipated that old Ray's gun would still be in John's possession? Could it possibly be him who fired the shot? Just then, little Len arrives on the scene, quickly taking control. It dawns on him that these are just kids caught up in craziness. If the doctor confesses, Jimmy will hand him over to the cops. The dazed doctor, under Jimmy's pressure, seemingly succumbs to confessing for his life. Subtitles: I dream about my dreams of youth. I can't clearly recall the celestial dreams. They're just dreams, aren't they? You know what I'm talking about, right? If you get that gun, it'll be your spokesperson. Even with the doctor reluctantly carrying the blame, he spills the honest truth. Without having sufficient evidence to back him up, Jimmy angrily vents his pent-up frustrations on the doctor. The following day, Sean spots Jimmy wandering aimlessly by the roadside and delivers the shocking news that the killer has already been apprehended. The killer is none other than Brandon's brother and his accomplice. Unfortunately, the brother has already confessed. It turns out this was all just a tragic accident. If you want to know more about the story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned.